This video was brought to you in part by the supporters of the AMTV Patreon. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the Ident Review, the show where we have a good look and chat about the various television idents that we've come to know and love over the years. And for this instalment, we're getting into the festive spirit by looking at this year's Christmas idents from BBC One. It's Christmas time again, and in the world of TV, festively themed idents are going to start popping up left, right and centre. For the BBC, they've held a long tradition of showcasing unique Christmas sequences every year going back to the late 1960s. We've covered many of these here on AMTV, namely the 70s and 80s, and this year we'll be tackling the 90s over on the Ident Review Extra. But right now, with the announcement of BBC One's Christmas ident of 2021, I thought it would be fitting to give my 2 cents on what will be representing the UK's oldest terrestrial channel. The main studio behind the idents this year is Aardman Animation, working together with BBC Creative. Aardman have worked with the BBC several times over the years, including to help devise idents for them featuring some of their most recognisable characters. Such characters invented by Aardman include the cast of Chicken Run, and perhaps most famously, the iconic duo that is Wallace and Gromit. But for 2021, they decided to include a character who got his start in a Wallace and Gromit film over 25 years ago, who then went on to have his own successful series. I'm of course talking about...
For Shaun the Sheep, he's Shaun the Sheep.
I used to love catching Shaun on CBBC after school, mainly during the first series which aired in 2007. I was amazed to find that Shaun and the Flock are still going strong, with 2 feature-length movies under their belt, as well as the series moving to Netflix in 2020. So without further ado, let's see how Shaun and the gang present themselves over on BBC One this Christmas. There's 3 variants to look at, so we'll begin with the first, in the morning. God, this takes me right back. The simple antics of the Flock, together with the farmer's dog Bitzer, in getting this Christmas tree upright is completely in sync with the style of humour seen in the TV show. It's great to see them working together as well, as I seem to remember that Bitzer always didn't see eye to eye with Shaun and the gang, but I suppose this teamwork reflects the spirit of the season. That sense of coming together in building or creating something in unison. We do also see the farmer himself, who pops out to survey the snowy landscape while sipping on his morning brew. Again, like in the show, the sheep instantly drop what they're doing to give the illusion that they're just like any other farmyard animals, instead of being the intelligent creatures who get up to all sorts of antics. Sadly, this leaves one of the flock crushed under the weight of the Christmas tree. Not in any sort of horrific way, but again, this sort of slapstick comedy works so well with this kind of stop-motion animation, and is a style that Aardman has consistently nailed over its many decades of work. I like the little moment where the farmer puffs his Santa hat up right. It's a detail I wasn't expecting and just really caught me unawares. Another thing Aardman projects can achieve with great success. I suppose you could say that the sequence runs for far too long, with most of the screen time just consisting of a panning shot seeing the sheep under the tree struggle, whilst the others act casual. And this is true, it's probably been elongated to give continuity announcers time to read their bulletins before whatever programme is coming up next. This is also probably a full-length version. I'm sure for most of December we'll see shorter variations of these scenes. Finally, doesn't the whole setting look magnificent? Stop-motion animation is Aardman's bread and butter, and they have truly mastered the craft to a T. The environment looks gorgeous, caked in the bright white snow, there's lots of great little additions to the character designs to lend itself for Christmas, and it all flows so smoothly and crisply. It truly is a stunning bit of visual art. That's a good start to kick off with, but let's see if Shaun & Co. can follow it up with our second variation in the afternoon. Chaos ensues as expected. We seemingly continue from where we left off in the morning. The Christmas tree has now been set up right properly, and now the decorating can truly begin. We've got Shaun atop several other sheep, throwing on the baubles which hang on the tree, whilst Timmy, the youngest of the flock, is working his hardest, peddling away to unravel the tinsel that will encircle the festive symbol. Once again, there is some great little comedy moments here, namely where Shaun and the others lose balance and collapse into the snow. The collapse itself happens off screen, which I found a bit of a shame. The slapstick potential of the fall and the aftermath could have been quite humorous, but it's a small nitpick. The little moment near the end where Timmy pauses on the bike to let out a sigh before carrying on is both funny and also makes you feel a little sorry for him. Like, why have you got him doing the hard manual labour? He's only a little un. Also, I love the random sheep who just skis by right past the front of the screen. Another moment of something unexpected happening that is simple in concept, but somehow just works. We don't see the farmer appear this time, but Bitzer is still on hand to oversee events. Not very well, mind you. I think I prefer the morning sequence initially. I felt the comedic elements were achieved a little better, and I prefer the bright morning snow setting compared to this late afternoon dusky one. But this is still a triumph visually. The setting may be the same, but the slight colour change given the time of day is subtle but effective. And again, all of the character models look fantastic in the actions they're committing to. So we've seen the flock work through the morning and the afternoon, but what's going to happen when we reach our final variant, in the evening? Blimey, this looks gorgeous. Snowy settings always tend to look great when it's set against an evening winter sky. The dark blue and black hues of the sky, illuminating with shining white stars, look great against the bright snow, the gorgeous green hue of the Christmas tree, and of course the multicolour array of lights. We see Shaun plug in the tree, the lights turning on to the sound of cheers and celebrations from the flock. A hard day's work all worth it for this. With the tree and farmer's house all decorated, it's time for a spot of carol singing, with the gang breaking out into a rather bleat-driven version of Jingle Bells. Gotta say guys, the random skier is back and I'm absolutely here for it. Is he just going round and round in one big loop? Where is the journey? Where is the goal? These questions won't be answered, but seeing him glide randomly across my screen again did get a chuckle out of me. The comedy doesn't end there, as we see Shaun eye a snowball resting near him, which he throws right into Bitzer's face. Amusing as it is, Bitzer sees the funny side, and continues to sing with the others. I would have thought that he would have retaliated, throwing one back at Shaun, then causing everyone to launch out into some good old snowball warfare. That sadly doesn't happen, which may seem a little disappointing, but keep in mind, stop motion animation takes a long time to film regardless, and considering this is a short sequence for a TV ident, perhaps a snowball fight could be saved for an episode of the TV show or a Christmas special. However, the evening variant of this year's festive offerings for BBC One arguably looks the best of the bunch. Everything from the colour combinations, the character models, their little winter accessories, the charm of the carol singing, the indication of a snowball fight, it all feels like the best parts of Christmas. So if that was the BBC's aim, to showcase some idents that embodied that warm and wonderful feeling of Christmas, then together with Aardman, I would argue that they succeeded, without a doubt. Not every Christmas ident put out by the BBC has gone on to be viewed as a certified classic, and with each passing year, nostalgia for idents past only continues to grow, with some newer offerings often getting lost along the way. However, for 2021, I don't think this will be forgotten by many. Not only do you have the beloved characters from Shaun the Sheep as your main stars, but the simplicity of the scenes themselves, combined with the gorgeous stop-motion animation, helps this sequence really entrench itself in the minds of the viewer. Shaun the Sheep and Christmas together? That almost sounds like a match made in heaven. And for me, despite a few nitpicks here and there, I think I can honestly say that these have been some of the best Christmas-themed idents that BBC One has had in recent years. I look forward to seeing them through December, and I hope that you get a chance to check them out, to laugh, smile, and bask in the positive presence of Christmas. And so that brings us to the end of another episode of the Ident Review. If you enjoyed this look at BBC One's Christmas idents, then please leave a like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel for lots more ident-related content. I've been Adam Martyn from AMTV, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Well, that does bring us to the end of another day here on AMTV. We do hope you enjoyed the programme, and a special thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and to everyone who's tuned in. Until the next broadcast, we wish you a good night.